Okay. Safely friction off. Collective friction on. Before we did it.
Yeah. Don't really need it today.
Right. Collective friction off. Governor is on.
Okay, everything ready? Yeah.
Right.
So this cable, it's okay.
Okay. Rotor cam warning light check. Clock slide. 3, 4, now. Raise the collective. 199, 98. Heading gauges 120 green, MC center, the curvates.
Center right?
Curvates out of yellow, engine and rotor cams are green, no warning lights. And half fuel.
Okay.
Right. I'm gonna pick up.
Remember, try to do this 1 or 2 step, like with 1 inch hover and then a little higher. Slowly as the pick up.
Tower Troy 315, we're with you just inside Lusick on ILS 30. For your planning, our intention is to full stop and then return to the runway full length to depart on a filed IFR to Palmdale.
Troy 315 on the turn to that, runway 30 to land, 10906.
Want to keep this heading or do you want to?
I'm gonna keep this heading.
Okay.
Long Beach Tower Helicopter 75320 at Maverick, request pet assignment with information hotel.
7320 on the turn, departure Maverick Major is at 204 to land.
Departure from Maverick at Mountain Risk, request pet 4, helicopter 320.
Okay. So now you did it very fast and you did a lot of things at the same time and you messed up the call a little bit. Well, not messed up, but so you have a lot more time and you look always down, look outside. So also when you hover, you don't want to look inside all the time. So take much more time, do the call much slower, and because he already cleared you to land.
Oh, right.
So we don't have to request pad 2 or 4. And then you did, during the call you did the pedal turn, you did not check your sides. So you have to do it step by step, much slower. And then also on the takeoff, try to stay low on the ground and not, because now we climbed already to 10 feet and then we got fast. But we want to be close to the ground and only when we have 40 knots we get higher.
Okay.
Okay, try to keep your eyes outside as much as you can. Nice, good catch. Cockpit was a little in the yellow, yeah. Okay, then we do just a normal approach for the first one.
Helicopter 320, hold east of the runway 30 for now.
Hold east of the runway 30, helicopter 320.
Okay, there's one guy on final. That's probably where we have to hold. Knots attitude, don't look too much here, look outside.
Oh, Tower Cat 91's with you, approaching Gunny for 30.
Can I want to share my cruiser, could I?
Oh, I am 30, Cat 91.
knots 500 looks perfect. We can do a landing check already, right? When we hold, we have a little time.
Helicopter 320, continue, passport to land.
Pattern clear to land, helicopter 320.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Maybe you have to do a little steep approach now. That was a little late clearance. Because there's another guy in final, he wants us to go down now.
Troy 315, turn left at Golf Lane, contact us.
Yeah, let's reduce the airspeed and do a steep approach.
Cat 80's got the airport. I'd like to circle to 26 left. I'll check that Cat 91.
Cat 91, runway 26 left, put on 11 with your
Okay, put on left, Cat 91, thanks.
If you overshoot a little bit, that's okay. Try to avoid this movement, just keep the cyclic pretty still, don't move it too much. Nice, that looks pretty good. Can maybe raise collective a little, we are sending a little too fast, yes. Nice, that's a good, nice, slow, steep approach. You can try to avoid, you don't have to move the cyclic at all, just stable. Nice, very good, that's very stable now. I haven't been on the pad for a while, it's green grass here.
Right.
That's not very often. Okay, let's get a little lower, we're pretty high on power.
Okay.
We always want to go down to about 3 to 5 foot hover. Okay, then let's go back to the pad.
Charmed up, putting on full top for your release.
681.
Written 11, so far advising about 4 minutes from now.
Roger.
Yeah, so here we have a little slopes, right?
Right.
But this is actually a really hard and advanced slope because on concrete it's much harder than in grass. But that's good practice. But I would say we warm up with a few quick stops.
Okay. Tower helicopter 320 at pad 4 because lane walk.
320, lane work approved.
Lane walk approved, helicopter 320.
Yeah, 91 to left marshal 4, like they talked about this right.
I'll say let's
Jet 11, I got your release now for Windows 004, runway 30.
Yeah, don't let go of the collective. You can never let go of the collective in a harbor, okay?
Right.
But yes, good decision. We have a little wind from the east, right? It was also reported. 100 at 5, I think, right? Or at 4, yeah, at 5. So it's a good call. Okay, that's far enough. Yeah, because they told us once we should not get too close to 30. So also when you do it in this direction, try to make sure that you stop this point latest or earlier. But on pad 4 we have a little more space than pad 3, so it should work out.
And the gauges want to steer green, IMSA center, probably throttle yellow, and general PMs green, the warning lights.
Yes, okay, then remember, once you are established on a stable air taxi, you just start to count right away, you don't wait too long. So quick stop with 1, 2, 3, and then lower collective off cyclic. Okay, whenever you're ready. A little more airspeed, forget the vibrations.
Quick stop 3, 2, 1.
Level on, forward cyclic. Okay, let's hover over there.
Okay.
Okay, that was very early now. We didn't reach a full air taxi because we need more airspeed. We need about 40 knots, right?
Right.
But it was a little, actually too slow. And also for a steep approach, you can get a little more airspeed that you feel the vibrations. They have a little bit more performance. And we can also get a little bit higher for the quick stop. So it was a little low and a little slow. So here you have a lot of space, or not a lot of space, it's still a little tight, but you have more space than you just used. I still want you to do it fast, you don't want to get very close and only then do the quick stop. But a little more time, you can take a little more time and space. Okay, that's good position here.
Tower 296, Southwest 30.
296, I'm showing 30, clear in.
Flat 30, Southwest 296.
Engine gauges 1 to green, emphasis centered, carbon auto yellow, engine overcomes green, no warning lights.
Forward cyclic, so you cannot just go straight up, you need forward cyclic at the same time.
Right.
A little more forward. So here we need a little more airspeed because we have a tailwind. These are the vibrations, yes. Okay. Then you level off, nice.
3, 2, 1.
Hold it, a little out. Okay, that was much better. I get a little more to the front, have the maximum space. Yeah, that was more than fast enough, almost a little too fast.
Right.
But still, it was okay. The quick stop itself was nice. You could keep the nose a little higher, but then you also need to lower the collective a little more, right? But you don't have to. Just the level off was a little too late and too slow because we leveled off and sank through a lot.
Right.
So we really have to raise collective more and really no straight and raise collective a little more.
Troy 315, short, just stay by, let him go.
Troy 315. Long with Cherokee 8085.
Yeah, let's go on more with the headwinds, make it a little easier.
Cherokee 353, long with Cherokee, just stay by.
Engine gauges 1 to green, emphasis centered, carbon auto yellow, engine overcomes green, no warning lights.
Cherokee 853, right now, approval runway 26 left.
Forward cyclic at the same time. Yeah, here are the vibrations. So now just keep that. Okay, that's a good altitude. Lower collective.
Quick stop 3, 2, 1.
So keep it aft and now forward cyclic, raise collective. Yes. Raise a little more. Okay, try not to move the cyclic too much, just a little, yeah. Nice. Okay, that was really good. I would say we do still one more because otherwise we have to hover a lot over there. So it's a little faster to get there.
And Troy 315.
Yeah, this time the airspeed and the air taxi was very good. First, when you start to climb, make sure when you raise collective you also apply forward cyclic. You want to not just go up, you want to go up and forward, right?
Right.
But that was much better this time, also the air taxi. On the quick stop first you applied a good amount of aft cyclic, but then you applied a little forward again to bring the nose down the nose a little bit, but you can keep it actually up. Just the biggest thing, a little more raising collective. We still sank through a little bit on the level off. So when you level off forward cyclic and raise collective, then you don't want to descend. So you want to do a very slow walk down like we did it on the approach.
Copy back, Southwest 296.
Engine gauges 1 to green, emphasis centered, engine yellow, engine overcomes green, no warning lights.
Okay.
Cherokee 53, extend down.
Nice, that's a nice next position. They don't raise too much. You watch your power.
Tower Southwest 382430.
Southwest 3024, long short runway 30, clear to land.
Clear land 30, Southwest 3824.
And then lower collective. Look outside. Quick stop.
Stop 3, 2, 1.
And hold it. Stop. And forward cyclic, raise collective. Yes. Raise.
Troy 315, I got your release down to windows 1104, runway 30, clear for takeoff.
Okay, all the way down, they're still too high. Okay. Have controls?
You have control?
Have controls. That's okay. Nice. Yeah. This time really good. Just you kind of tend to do this a little bit.
Right.
Try to just not move the cyclic at all, because this really doesn't help you. It's going to be much more stable. Just on the level off again, this time you raised a good amount, but then you lowered again, and then we still sank a little bit through. So once you raise, try to, don't lower again, because it was actually pretty good in the beginning how you leveled off, but it was still a very nice peak stop overall, so good job. Also the climb was nice, just watch your power a little bit, we were a little bit high on power. Yeah, when we could enter this time it was a little late, it was still okay, but we were right on the edge, right? So we cannot enter later than that. So you could have entered a little earlier. Okay, then, so let's say the DP tells you headed to a slow landing. Then, if it doesn't tell you where exactly, you can decide yourself. But most importantly is going to be that you check the wind. At the moment the wind is pretty calm, maybe a little east-ish. So if it's east wind, you want to have a headwind, so you can use here the left or the right slope, right? And if it doesn't tell you which one, you can do the skid that works better for you. And how we start is always like that. So let's say we do the right skid up, and then we have to start from this position. Because so now we have a slope here in front of us, and we plot this, let's say this is a big slope, not just this little hump here. Then we want to make sure we never have the tail into the slope, which means what we're going to do is we're going to approach the slope always in a 45-degree angle like this, and then we go directly over the spot where we want to land, so in this case here. Then left, right side clear, and then we turn parallel to the slope if we have enough space, if there is no bushes or anything. So that's always the best option. Then we would do the slope, so we want to set down and pick up again, and then after pick up, I cannot do a turn like this, because now I have the tail in the slope, right? So we have to keep this heading, and then go forward left, 45-degree angle. And then the slope is down, right? And the same would be for the other direction, right? Okay. So let's say they're coming in 45 degree, and like I said, this is really not an easy slope, because we're gonna slide a lot. So what you do is we step down, and if we can, we try to balance it, but we still in the beginning I like to lower the collective a little bit to make sure we don't move too much. Now we balance the helicopter, and then a lower collective, and at the same time a lot of right cyclic into the slope, right? Then I can just let go a little bit of the cyclic, and then the skid is down. You see how much input there is? It's quite a lot. But now I'm still light on skids, so it's still not safe. So I lower the collective maybe 1 inch, and then parallel to the slope I do a little stability check. Okay, then I say, yeah, stable, a little left-right pedal. Feels stable. Lower another inch, so an actual inch, not an inch on the pressure. Then another, forward aft, left right. Okay, this feels very stable. If I'm not sure, I do maybe one more, but that feels very stable. So I go all the way down, and then back to the middle. Then the maneuver is over. And then we do max performance takeoff, which we're gonna do for the pinnacle. Then we would now do the procedure with rolling down the RPM and everything. Then we say, okay, pick up, and then again I apply a lot of cyclic into the slope, and I start slowly to raise collective, and I already want to look outside. And I do not already apply a lot of left pedal. I start with a neutral pedal, and as I raise the collective, the more left pedal I need, right? And maybe I would not look too much to the front, but also not in front of you, maybe to this little bush in front of us. It's a good distance, a little more cyclic. And then at some point, the left skid is gonna come up, right? And if that happens, this is, it's a little early, this is when I start to go back to the middle position with the cyclic. And at the same time, I keep raising a little. And then when I'm neutral, I pick it up.
Roger, 853.
And 45 degree. Okay?
Okay.
Nice. Bring you back again. You have controls.
I have controls.
You have controls. And you might even, if you normally fly like this, you might even lift a little bit that your leg is not in the way, right? Because it's really one of the maneuvers where we need a lot of cycling. Okay, whenever you're ready, you can try. Yes, maybe a little, yeah, that's pretty good. Then left side clear, right side clear. Okay, now take your time. Maybe look about 20 feet. Maybe this little bush over there.
runway 26 right, clear the option.
And very important on the slope, try to keep the nose exactly parallel to the slope. Try to not move the nose too much. Perfect would be no movement at all at the nose. Small inputs. Okay, one skid is down. Nice, very good. When you feel like you're tilting too much to the right, you can just lower the collective. Okay, we're up again, so maybe a little left pedal. Okay, and once the right skid touches the ground, you can lower the collective just a little, that we don't move too much, and at the same time you have to apply a little bit cyclic into the slope. Take your time. Yes, very good. Okay. Yeah, so if it also already goes down a little too early, that's still fine. You don't have to balance it. This would just be the perfect scenario, but it's not a must do. Okay, maybe a little more right cycling and lower collective a little more. Yes, very good. Okay, now that's a good position. We're still light on skids. Okay, you already lowered a little. We are at about 19. That's good. So just a little, pretty fast. Yeah, that was a little too long. Just a short time. So like this. Looks good. Then a little left and right. Yes, very good. Because you don't want to kind of apply a lot of left pedal for a stability check, because we are still light on skids. The helicopter would turn right. Okay, then let's lower maybe like that here. I can lower a little more. Still pretty high.
Juliet, milling in north to 26 right.
Left right.
Juliet, contact tower 119.
Speed's pretty stable.
133.0,
Oh, sorry, they're open, okay.
Then you can also call it out stability check, then you do it. So you say stability check, you do it, and then you say, yeah, feel stable, continue.
Right.
Because especially if you have a kind of a ground with a lot of big, you can now center the cyclic, because the collective is all the way down, and center the pedals. When there is a lot of, like on next to a river, there are often a lot of big stones, then you want to kind of grab yourself into the ground, right? And also to check if it's really stable. And if you feel like, oh, we are tilting like that, then you maybe have to say, okay, abort, we cannot land here, we need to find another spot. And if it's good, you can say, yes, feel stable, let's continue. Okay, it was a pretty good steep slope landing already. Also the heading is really good, man. Okay, then you can pick us up again.
Receptive to do it, runway 26 right.
Line of away, 2 seconds, clear.
Receptive to Juliet, traffic uplands in the pattern. The wind is 1 to 3, runway 26 right. Clear, take off.
Sorry, left cycling. Yeah, more left cycling. Nice. Nice, pretty good. We could have used a little more left cycling because we were a little bit drifting.
Right.
But other than that, pretty nice. Nice, good job, 45 degrees. Okay, nice. Then I have controls.
You have control?
I have controls. Okay, so usually you would then decide yourself which slope you want to use, right? Often in Long Beach we have wind from the south, then you would use here this slope or the other one to be that you're facing to the tower, right? But today with east wind we do it like that. Okay, then you can try the other skids. You have controls.
I have control?
You have controls. Okay, then 45 degrees, left side clear, right side clear. Then you fly directly straight that you're over the spot. So maybe just the middle of the pad. And maybe one skid on the concrete, one on the grass. That would be perfect. Okay, left clear, right clear. Okay, then choose a good reference point, a good distance, and take your time.
7% to Joe, contact with Park CS.
Parker CS, do it.
Cherokee 853, runway 26, right to the option.
CFC option 853.
Left, yes. Good correction on the pedals. Nice. Nice, that was pretty smooth. Nice, it's a good cycling input there. Maybe not too big inputs, a little, so not all the way here, so just a little bit. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, slowly, slowly. We're still pretty light on skids. Okay, a little more down. And you can also call it out now. Stability check, and then you say it's good or it's not good.
Right. Stability check.
Yeah, a little more careful, not too big, like just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Okay, feels pretty stable to me. You don't so keep the cycling into the slope. Yeah. So also if you do a stability check, you keep it here, right? So you don't do it here, you keep it here. Nice. And all the way down, and pedals neutral, cyclic neutral, maneuver is over, oh sorry. And then we can do the pickup.
Okay.
Maybe let's do a gauge check real quick.
And your gauge is what is your green, and center, carpets are yellow, engine and RPM to green, no warning lights.
Okay. It's pretty good. Still, make sure you really go all the way to neutral, that you don't move to the left too much. Still pretty good. You could do it a little slower, then it's a little easier, but still very smooth, especially with the nose. A very good job. Okay, good job. Yeah, so I think that's good for the first introduction. We can do then a little more on the next couple flights.
Okay.
Okay, let's do running landings. Maybe you can request lane work at pad 3.
Okay. Tower helicopter 320 at pad 4, because lane work at pad 3.
After 320, Howard taxi to pad 3, and then lane work approved at pad 3.
Approve that requested, helicopter 320.
Okay, yeah, so running landing, like I said, emergency maneuver, but again, here in Long Beach it's not easy because we only have this space available, right?
Right.
Yeah, usually we use a runway and then you don't have to worry about the space at all.
91, let me chart only 26 left.
You can please hover over there. Just a normal hover taxi. Or actually, let's hover on the other side, that's better. Then let's use the headwind. Or no, actually, let's go over there, sorry. Because we don't have enough space on this side. And the wind is not too strong. So when we come in for landing, we're gonna aim for kind of this position here. So like you would wanna land here. And from this position on, we just keep floating maneuver, right? So we don't change our altitude anymore, we're already pretty close to the ground. Then we only need this forward cycling to set the helicopter down. But really important is also going to be that we keep the nose exactly in the direction that we are moving. in the green M center, copy those, yellow caution, it's off, that's nearing good on fuel. Okay, I have controls.
You have control?
I have controls.
Okay,
Okay, that's clear. So we're just gonna simulate an approach.
Okay.
So also later I can set you up and then once we are in the air I can give you the controls.
Okay.
But now I just demonstrated. So I play forward cyclic and race collective at the same time to use the vibrations, right?
Right.
Okay, and then let's just say we are coming in for a landing and then we aim for this spot a little bit before. And now these vibrations, we need to keep those. This is the ETL vibrations, right?
Right. Runway 30, hold on, hold short runway 30.
There is kind of float like that.
We'll land runway 30.
Then at the end I just apply a little forward cycling. This brings me down.
Short runway 26, right?
Then I slide the lower collective a little more if I feel like getting too fast or getting too close to the edge. I can also lower collective a lot. Then the helicopter slows down a lot.
Okay.
And then all the way down.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say kind of if you do it slow, it's a little easier. But we cannot do it too slow because the most important thing is going to be to keep the ETL speed, right?
Right.
If you get faster and slower than ETL, we're going to suddenly need 2 inches or so more. So a good reference is if you are below 20-21 inches, then usually you still have ETL. But you don't have to kind of observe that too much. Just the vibrations, just you want to still keep your eyes outside, right?
Right.
So now I also already have right on the edge of ETL and I'm only with 20 inches. So clear, right? Check clear. Okay, I'm gonna, or actually you can do also the takeoff yourself. I think that's also good practice. Okay, you have controls.
I have controls?
You have controls.
Radio gauge check, indicate to distributor in MC center, carpets are below, engine open, screen, no warning lights. So, next takeoff?
Yeah, let's do max takeoff so that we don't need too much space.
Okay.
So forward cyclic, race collective, yeah. Little left cyclic. Okay, now you can do the approach a lower collective and give a little more airspeed. We want to have some vibrations, yes. Nice. Okay, that's pretty good speed now. And also the approach angle looks really good. Okay, maybe raise collective a little bit. Keep the nose straight, yeah, little left pedal. Make sure you don't drift to the right. And all the way down. Okay, that was pretty good for the first time. Just also because we lower the collective, we have a little, we always gonna drift a little to the right.
Right.
So that's why we need a little left cyclic. You want to kind of stay in the middle of the pad.
Okay.
But most importantly this time, just before touchdown I told you to raise collective a little bit, because now we sat down with the collective. It was not a cyclic set down. So we were coming down and just down. But what we want to do is we want to kind of stop descending, fly straight, and then set down with the cycling. This would still be a pass in a check head, it was still a good approach, but it's better with the cycling. Yeah, so let's try it. What is this sound now? This radio. Let's pick up. Left side clear.
Right side clear.
Papa wind 0936, runway 26 left for takeoff.
6 left clear for takeoff, I go Papa.
First time I got left at 400 up.
Left to Delta 4, contact us.
Check east by 3, runway 26 right for the option.
For the officers to contact my street.
Nice, so that's calm, feels pretty good from the speed. Maybe we need to to be a little faster than this time for the steep approaches, for the running landing as well. Maybe that would be a little too slow. To the right, try to stay in the middle of the pad this time, okay? And this time you're gonna maybe raise collective a little more, that we don't descend with the collective, right?
Right.
So try to float a little bit.
Good work, yes. I need to come back.
Green is the center for Cervelo and general film screen, no working lights.
Need a little more airspeed for the performance. Okay, you can already lower the collective, but keep a little airspeed. A little left cycling, middle of the pad. Okay, that's a good speed. A little left pedal, lower the collective and forward cycling. Okay, I have controls. I have controls. Okay, yeah, we kept the airspeed a little long, set down a little late. That's why we overshot a little. That was still okay, but we don't have a lot of space here. Also this time, did you feel how we sat down? Because the back skid sat down first. It was like a, yeah, so first back then front. So we need a little forward cycling in the end. And yeah, if you keep that airspeed, we really have to aim for the beginning or even before the pad, that we are not overshooting like we just did.
Okay.
So let's try again, and after that we're gonna try it a little more realistically from the pattern. So we do an approach.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little more forward cycling in the end, and we wanna aim for a little more for the beginning of the plan. So maybe you can also start to your approach a little earlier this time. We don't have to go that high now on the next performance takeoff.
Okay.
You have to
sure, continue traffic lead position.
we should continue, okay, 91. Okay. Green and center, copy down.
Traffic departing 26 right.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
30, line up and wait, West Coast 24.
Yes, keep a little forward pressure, yeah. And now you can already start to descend. And look for the grass area in front of the pad. So lower collective a little more. Okay, we're a little fast.
Cherokee 53, if you're able to get it right across the map,
Yeah, I've control.
I see a right switch in April, please.
Yeah, again, we have to really descend a little more, otherwise, because now we set down again in the middle of the pad or so, but we really need to set down in the beginning. So when you come in, so in this position, you will already be on a hover, on a float, right?
Right.
And then, as soon as you're over the pad, you just apply forward cycling, that's gonna bring you down. Okay? I know it's a little...
24, wind 105.
to be honest, it's not the perfect place to start in this maneuver, but that's all we got here, right? So you can also even aim for...
to land, the wind is 120.
maybe very far before the pad, and then you just float a little longer. Then you have a lot of time in this float, and as soon as you're over the pad, you apply the forward cycling.
Okay.
That's clear, that's okay. So maybe you even aim for kind of almost the middle from here to the pad, this position. Okay, you have controls.
I have control.
You have controls. Okay. 1, 2, 3 green, I'm center, copy out, Zero, Caution it's off, testing green, good on fuel. Whenever you're ready.
Will be about turn heading 200 for traffic.
So we'll start the turn left turn heading 200 West Coast 24.
Southwest 24, thank you, connect to the front seat.
Nice, and you can do the approach and maybe really aim for this spot here already.
Cherokee 53 for now, it's going to be
pedal, Nice, that's a good flow now. Just try to keep that. Left pedal. And now forward cycling. Yes. And lower a little bit the collective. Nice. And lower collective more to get slower. Yes, so you can really adjust the speed very good with the collective, right?
Right.
This was really nice. All the reset down, the forward cycling was really nicely done.
69, I'm sure only 30 northwest.
Yeah, we still drifted a little to the right, so we can apply a little more left cycling. But I also feel like we approach always a little bit too much to the right. So in general, also when you do the approach, make sure you stay over the center line.
Okay.
But that was a nice speed and a good forward cycling input. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, then you can pick up, and I would say we do one from the heaven.
Forward, back up.
Hold one around, get 91.
Cherokee 53, you can turn to be center, can we choose the track over the option?
Sunday strong, clear the option, 853.
Okay.
Southwest 59.
We can stay here, we can just...
105, runway 30, clear for takeoff.
30, clear for takeoff, southwest, 5969.
Okay, this time I just got a takeoff clearance. Yeah, so like I said, most important is going to be ETL speed. And also this time we sat down and we almost took off again. So once you are on the ground, you can maybe like this lower the collective like that to make sure you don't pick up again, right? Because you also want to get slower really fast.
Right.
So you just, once you're on the ground, because it happens pretty often actually that we sit down, then we slide for a while and then we pick up again. So then really lower the collective like that once you're on the ground.
Okay.
You can already do the call if you want.
Right. Tower helicopter 320 at path 3, because the left post traffic.
Tower 320, number 3, clear for takeoff.
Clear to take off, helicopter 320.
Southwest 59, connect to the
Make sure when you get the takeoff clearance, you also say which pad. Okay, normal takeoff, look outside on your target. A little forward cycling and left pedal. Straight to your target. Yeah, so usually on a normal pattern, on final we keep 60 knots 300 feet, right?
Right.
So this time we want to do a little shallower approach so you can really actually keep descending that you come in very shallow for the running landing.
Right, clear. Clear.
Helicopter 320, hold west of 30.
Hold west of 30, helicopter 320.
Feet, 60 knots looks perfect. You can also use the time now.
Right. Engages 120 MC center, carpets are yellow, engine on fumes going, no warning lights. Carpets up.
Nice.
Chapter 320, continue on the downwind, hold east of 30.
Continue down in, hold east of runway 30, helicopter 320.
Cherokee 853, extend her downwind.
Extend down to 853.
Alaska 971, I'm sure I'm just putting out that go.
Hold short, Alaska 971.
8 for check 527 for left up 4, center ground.
Left up 4, contact ground crew, check 527.
Last 971, got to release now, runway 30, line of way, traffic crossing out, downfield.
30 line of way, Alaska 971.
It's very precise, 570 knots, looks perfect. But yeah, it feels
971, 1105, runway 30, clear takeoff.
it's really like you have a pretty strong headwind here. Headwind at the moment. Stronger than I thought. Because it felt really slow, this downwind. Okay, let's keep the airspeed. We want to do at least one turn, otherwise we have to do a steep approach again. We don't want that now for the running landing.
Chopper 320, continue on matter 3 to land.
3 full to land, helicopter 320.
Make sure you start to descend. A little more to the right here. You can also extend a little bit over the golf course.
971, connect to the park here.
Alright, over departure, and there's a Hawk flying over the runway. Just a heads up, Alaska 971.
Okay, thank you for that.
60 knots, left side clear. Okay, then look for the spot in front of the pad.
Okay.
So land very short, carpet comes down.
A bit off.
Reduce the airspeed. So shallow approach, so you need to go more to the left, right?
Cherokee 53, turn base up 605, runway 23.
Then you get slower until you have your
605, 853.
ETL speed, right?
Right.
Yeah, and look, try to aim for the spot in front of the pad. Nice. Raise collective a little.
Cherokee 53, turn base now.
That's a good speed now. Just we're descending really fast.
And accept the option 853 for stop.
Forward. Don't get too slow.
Southwest 2659, level share wind 1208, runway 30. Clear for takeoff.
Nice. That was very smooth. Very smooth set down. Not a very good position. In the beginning of the pad, we stopped here in the middle.
Level share runway 30.
Really good running there.
Forward takeoff.
Good job.
Takeoff 30 Southwest.
Yeah, I would say we can practice that a little more than just as a review then for before the check rate. So let's do some other rotations, huh?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you can already pick up. I think there's one guy taking off, but you can already pick up to gauge check and everything.
Okay, and you guys go to zero green empty center, corbett auto yellow, engine overcam screen, no warning lights.
Okay, so for the other rotation, we're gonna have a little tailwind, so we might need to enter a tiny bit earlier, at least much earlier than last time, because I think last time we had a headwind, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we can figure it out what is a good spot to enter today. Then you remember on the entry, very important, nice setup, 500 feet, 70 knots, and eyes outside. And on the entry you want to keep your eyes outside, that the altitude doesn't change, because then also the RPMs and the airspeed is going to stay stable. And then we slowly start, when we get close to the ground, we slowly start the flare, and then like on a quick stop, keep the nose pretty high up, okay? Just try to keep it up. Let's feel about 1 G that we don't descend, and then on the level off, don't forget to raise the collective.
Okay.
Okay.
Southwest 2659, connect to the bird, see it.
Our departure southwest flying.
Tower helicopter 320 at pad 3 because left close traffic.
Helicopter 320, pad 3, clear takeoff and hold west runway 30.
Pad 3 clear to take off and hold west left 30, helicopter 320.
Southwest jet 5 and ready at runway 30 on shore.
Switch to 510, I'm sure traffic landing and departing 26 right, runway 30 on wait.
5 from weight 30, switch jet 510.
A little more airspeed, 60 knots. A lot of traffic here.
Cherokee Drive 3, Charles Kilo 3, gonna go.
Kilo 3, contact ground, airport 3.
Switch at 510, 1124, runway 30, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff, runway 30, switch jet 510.
Yes, so we're gonna do a straight in over rotation. You're gonna have all three controls.
Capture for productivity, departure, runway 30.
I will have the throttle. We do a power recovery in the end.
Switch at 510, connect to the first seat.
Arch switch jet 510.
Helicopter 320, continue down, Pad 3 to land.
Continue down with pad 3 clear to land, helicopter 320.
Yes, and very important, nice setup, right? So eyes outside, 17 knots, 500 feet. And then we look at top of the trim strings. Maybe the trim strings are a little long on this one, so maybe we wait a second longer.
Right.
And maybe not today because we have a tailwind, right? So maybe today the top of the trim strings on this helicopter are good.
Tag 1, helicopter November 959, Charlie Foxtrot, Juliet, Aviva, Atlantic, information India, continue north down the departure.
Grand Charles Fox, I'm sure North Emperor, Texas, Juliet, live, clear for takeoff.
Juliet, Aviva, Atlantic, take off, helicopter 959, Charlie Foxtrot.
Okay, keep the 70 knots, and also in the turns we need to keep the 70 knots, right? Gauge check, landing check.
3 on green, and static orbits are below, engine overflows green, no warning lights.
70 knots, 500. Left, right, clear. Really nice turn, looks good. Trim strings are centered. Okay, that's straight in front of the pad. 70 knots, 500, and eyes outside. Nice setup, looks really good.
Rotation 3, 2, 1, enter. Pitch pull.
Temps, airspeed outside. Temps, airspeed outside. Maybe raise collective a little bit. That's not too much. Temps, airspeed outside. Nice flare. A little more flare and forward cyclic, raise collective. Nice. Okay, I have controls. I have controls. Nice, that was a very smooth auto rotation. Very stable entry, very nice glide. Also, you started the flare pretty close to the ground, which is actually good. For training it's okay if we do it higher, but in real life nice situation, this is how you do it. So that was a really nice flare. We just could keep the nose a little bit higher because we kind of flared a little shallow and started to descend a little bit in the flare. So just the nose a little higher, and we learned we overshot. So the wind is influencing our rotation a lot. So 5 knots more or less makes a lot of difference, right? But it's good experience now. Now we found out, okay, we overshot by 100 feet or so. So next time we entered 2 seconds earlier or something. But really nice out rotation, they're very stable.
I'm sure traffic will cross down for runway 3092.
You have control.
Runway 32, that's 549 controls.
You have control. So you have a little left crosswind at the moment. Okay, this guy just got the call to line up and wait. So probably we don't get the clearance now, but we can already do your gauge checks.
Any gauges 1 to short green, up to center, carbon are yellow, and general film screen, no warning lights.
Yeah, so like I said, really stable auto rotation. Just enter a little earlier and a little higher with the in the flare, right? But the entry and the glide was excellent. We lost a little airspeed during the glide, but no, maybe only about 5 knots. We still were above 60 knots, so it was still good. Yeah, we could maybe apply a little more forward cycling because also the RPMs I told you once, race collective, because the airspeed was a little bit below the above the green. So if you applied a little forward cycling, the RPMs would have been a little lower and the airspeed a little higher. But then we would even overshoot a little more. So we really have to enter a little earlier. But these are really details I'm speaking about now. There was in total a really good auto rotation.
Thank you.
Okay, come on. Let's go over there.
That's 549, 1106, runway 30, take off.
Clear for takeoff, runway 30, southwest, 549.
Did you say 100 at 6 the wind? Still east wind. So if the wind keeps picking up, then they're gonna change the runway probably. Because now everybody has a tailwind. But not very strong. But yeah, last time we had a headwind and we entered way later, right? And we still, it's kind of insane how much the wind influences the auto rotation. So now
That's 549, connect to the first view.
So now they always get the call, contact SoCal. We could also do the call before that. So when the airplane is here, we can already do the call when there is somebody here.
Cover 9 Charles Foxtrot, appreciate crew.
Appreciate crew, very good, my favorite.
Contact 48, 9105, runway 26 off, take off.
26 left, clear for takeoff, contact 488.
Tower helicopter 320 at path 3, request left, close traffic.
320, Federal 3, clear for takeoff.
Path 3, clear to take off, helicopter 320.
Let's go a little lower maybe. Okay. Eyes on the target. Make sure you don't drift to the right.
Clear.
Copy 320, Federal 3, clear line.
Path 3, clear to flight, helicopter 320.
Make sure you keep 60 knots in down, so.
Contact 48, connect to the first view.
Sending engages 120 green, MC center, carpets are below, engine room pins
Clear check 488, contact close on the first.
Order flight check attack 488.
Nice. Everything set up, so we're gonna do a straight in out rotation with power recovery, and you're gonna have all three controls. I will have the throttle 70 knots 500, gate check is done. This time we're gonna enter a little earlier and keep the nose a little higher on the flare. Other than that, we do it exactly the same way. Maybe a tiny bit more forward cyclic in the flare, but we're gonna see.
Tower, good morning, 3665, 3.2, after clear the approach for 30.
Southwest 365 on Trevor, cruiser, put on.
Clear left, runway 30.
Southwest 365, we can let us know the top and the basic of the class.
Orbit. Okay, 70 knots, and we are a little too high, so maybe we have to enter even a little earlier. Try to be straight in front of the center line. Don't get too fast.
Rotation 3 to 1. Pitch pull.
Wait a second, not too much. Nice. Temps, airspeed, that's it. Nice, good job with the forward cyclic this time. That's very stable there. Yeah, keep it. Forward cyclic. Beautiful. Really nice. Now you kept the nose much higher on the flare.
Tower Turkey
let's say clear.
holding short of
You can turn, let's hover back to the middle of the
Clear,
map.
on short close traffic is blue, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff, runway 2.
Clear for takeoff, thank you.
I think because of that tailwind, we might even have to extend the downwind a little more.
Clear check 700, sure, left.
Because you turn final and you almost immediately have to enter, right? So that's why we overshot a little bit. But other than that, the glide was very nice. The pitch pull was a little too early, but you just did it anyways and just kept everything. So you didn't lower the collective when the light came on, and that was actually good because after that the RPMs came up anyways, right? Yeah, in the flare the RPMs were a little bit high, but it was still within limits. But the flare was much better, much higher. We could even flare a little earlier, that we have a little more altitude. We are pretty close to the ground. I mean, in a real engine failure, you would do it like that, but you don't have to do that.
It's kind of scattering out now. It was right around 1,300 feet.
Flare a little earlier,
Very short
but
lived.
it was much better with the nose attitude. So really good over rotation.
Thank you.
Okay, then I would say we practice some hover orders, huh?
Okay.
You want to do one first from late on skids? Or are you confident to do it? Confidence, okay. Then remember the inputs, throttle pedal, at the same time a little right cyclic, right?
Right.
And then you allow the aircraft to settle and then the pull. Make sure you have a headwind, it looks already pretty good. And the gauge check. And we want to have
Sure, just stand by warm up.
Carpets out of yellow, engine room pins green, no warning lights.
Okay, and on this one we count up, right? So hover rotation 1, 2, 3. You already have an under grip, that's good. And make sure you don't close it like that. Pretty smoothly, okay? So you don't have to kind of chop the throttle. Okay, the altitude looks pretty good. Make sure you have a stable hover, and whenever you're ready.
Overall rotation 1, 2, 3.
And crew check 700 for Trevor behind you, begin that left
Yeah.
south on that.
Oh, we'll begin the low southbound now, clear check 700.
Yeah, so we lowered, we raised the collective.
3655 for ready, keep it
In the roll, you raised a little bit, so you already lost a little power.
Keep that 3, runway 26 right.
And then we kind of did not have enough power to cushion the landing a lot, so that's why the set down was a little hard. I think also in the beginning I feel like we almost climbed a little bit. So make sure you don't use anything on the collective in the beginning. You just throttle pedal, they don't lower or raise, and then we do the pull in the end. So we maybe need to give the helicopter a little more time to settle. Okay, let's let's do another one. RPM is down, so you can increase RPM. The position of the helicopter itself was good, but just a little more right pedal as well. Okay, yeah, that's a good altitude, you don't have to get higher. And maybe a little right pedal. Okay, gauge check. Don't get too high, a little lower maybe. Yeah.
Pre-check 700, pre-check 3.
Pre-check 700,
Warning lights.
Pre-check 527, contact over.
Overall to
Contact pre-check 527.
What?
Yeah, stable.
Right. 1. 1, 2, 3.
That was better. That was better. A little abrupt on the pull, so you could pull a little more smooth and a little right cyclic, right? Also, because of that left drift, we also think the tail right skid touched down first a little. Yeah, so if you keep the cyclic, maybe right and forward cyclic, because we want to make sure we don't drift to the back.
Right.
Okay, if you think we drift to the back a little bit, that's right aft skid touched first. Okay, let's pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, but mostly not too abrupt on the pull. So you can pull a little slower, then you also have a little more power left in the end of the touchdown. Okay. Your mount is still holding, huh? Just the iPad is not straight anymore.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so make sure you don't get higher than that. I know with this helicopter you always want to go up, so you really have to push it down a little. Okay, 1, 2, 3, green, center, copy of the location on its off, this is green, good on fuel, underhand grip. Okay.
Rotation 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh yes. Oh yes. That was excellent. That was really nice. Perfect amount of right pedal, was very straight, really good timing on the pull. Really good job. Okay, let's do another one like that. I have to fix that now, to remember that. Keep it in memory. Okay, 1, 2, 3 green, I'm center, couple of zero. Fuel is very low, so I think after that you have to go back.
Okay.
Caution model is off and tags are in the green. Okay, usually you do gauge check yourself, but I want to save a little time because of the fuel. Okay, you can still take your time to focus whenever you're ready. Don't get too high.
Rotation, overall rotation 1.
Okay, so outside.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, this time again I feel like you did a little pull and then in the end no pull or a late pull. Okay, I think one more is in there, huh? In the tank.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we are really working on the timing of the collective, right?
Right.
The pedal input is really nice, the throttle input is really nice.
Tricky 53, extend down.
Extend down in 853.
Okay, 1, 2, 3 green, I'm center, couple here, caution model it's off, takes into green, good on fuel, really.
Helicopter 5, Microsoft with the fabricated departure.
Okay.
550, Mike Hotel, Long Beach Shower, departure from Maverick, stop trip.
Touch